Welcome back to the channel and back to another video on the Caddy, where we've decided to go a slightly different direction with it and build a race van. And step number one to building that race van is coilovers and some sick wheels. Now the wheels are already on it, I said that in the last video, but I'm not ready to show you that just yet, so you're gonna have to wait till later in this video to see those. So let's get this thing lowered and then I'll reveal the wheels. Now, this is not your normal coilover setup. On the front, we've got normal coilovers, as you'd expect to have on pretty much any car you do it on. But on the rear, we've got a straight beam and some leaf springs. So we're gonna start with the front because that's gonna be a bit easier because I've done it 100 times before. But the rear, we're probably gonna learn together because you've got to do something called flipping the beam, which is basically take the leaf springs out, put them underneath the beam instead of sitting on top of the beam with some shackles and whatever. So we'll figure that out when we get there. But we are going to slam this thing today and it's going to sit low. So let's get on to the coilovers. If, like me, you've done coilovers 1,000 times, the front is going to be easy. So let's smash this one out. If you haven't done it, this is how I did my front coilovers. After removing the wheels and trying not to show them to the camera, I can then apply some WD-40 on the old rusty bolts. In an unconventional way, I decided to tighten, not loosen, these bolts with the impact. That meant that actually it snapped off because I've got new drop licks anyway, so it was much easier. Next, I took my hammer and hit the lower control arm until it came free from the bottom of the damper, and that is the lower section done. Up top, we need to remove this firewall heat shield thingy. That allows us to have access not only to the top mount bolts, but more importantly to the wiper motor. And you say, why do I need access to the wiper motor? Well, without taking that off, you cannot get access to the top mount bolts. I don't care how small your hands are, you're not getting in there. With the wipers out the way, that gives us just enough room to get the 3 top mount bolts loosened off, and just like that, that is one damper removed. So that is the first shock out from the driver's side, and it took way longer than I anticipated because annoyingly I had to cut the last bolt off. It just was spinning. Basically, these have got captive nuts on them that are like welded to the top mount, and this one was just spinning. So the only way to get at it was to cut it off, which was a pain in the ass. But that's done. That is our complete standard shock. What we've got, luckily, I ordered some top mounts as well to go with the new coilovers. Thankfully I did that because these ones obviously now will work. That one wouldn't have. So we've got some Febby Bilstein shocks to go with our coilovers, which I'm assuming that's a rear shock. Rear shock. Coilover. Yes. So what we have to replace it is our Pro Sport coilover. Now the coil is in here somewhere, so let me just fish that out. So we've got our coil. So we've got our coil and also our coilover. Thankfully this comes with a new nut, so normally I would do the silly thing and stand on that, let go of that, and it would just shoot everywhere. But we don't need to do that now. We're going to put our spring on, followed by our top mount, which is, like I said, a brand new top mount. And then waz that on. So height difference already, you can see there is a bit of a height difference between the two, and these are obviously fully adjustable. So Dean has used these, he's actually used all the cheap variants, and he said these are the least bouncy and probably the best cheap version. They were still £300, but for coilovers that's pretty cheap. So time to get this one installed, get that one off, and do the rears. I've just fully tightened these up and set these to a rough height, and I've put them at 0.64 of an inch. So I know when I do the next one, that needs to go 0.64 of an inch as well, and at least we're on the same starting place. It probably isn't going to be right, I'm probably going to have to raise or lower it, but that's our starting block. So let's get this in the car and then get the other one on and see where we're at. the van is low on the front and it looks so good right now. I cannot wait to show you what it looks like, but you are gonna have to wait till later on in the video so you can see the wheels and basically the full effect of how it looks. But even just from this angle, it looks so good and so low on that drive. Now, just lowering these looks amazing and so much better. I actually saw one on stock wheels the other day, and just like the crappy Steelies, and it still looked really good compared to this. So having this low now, at least the front, is just completely game changing. I do need to do the rears, so I'm gonna get onto the rears and now do the whole flip the beam situation, and then I can show you guys what it looks like. So make sure you stick around to see how it looks like when it's low, and also what it looks like with those new wheels. Let's get the rear done. Before we get on to lowering the rear, this tow bar needs to go. In order to do that, I have to take off the rear bumper. It turns out the bumper is simply clipped to the car, and the only thing really holding it on is these 3 bolts in the rear wheel arch. After loosening off the sides of the bumper, that gives me just about enough room to get to the tow bar itself, and then once that's loosened, I can lean the tow bar down to fully remove the bumper and have full access to the rest of the tow bar. Then, with some brute force and ignorance, the tow bar wiggled free from the car. I did then decide to keep the wires because I might go to a detachable tow bar in the future. After that, the angle grinder come out to take the actual tow bar bit off of the bash bar. So I realised by taking the tow bar off, this actually replaces the bash bar. So if I do it, I have no bash bar. Hence, you've just watched me cut this bit off, giving me a bash bar still, but no tow bar attachment. So when I do eventually put a detachable tow bar on, I can take this off and put that on, but I've still got a bash bar just in case for whatever reason I get rear-ended. So I'm gonna put this on, then we're gonna start the rear set of, well, not coilovers, the rear lowering process, flip the beam. Like I said, we've got a leaf spring here, so we need to take this, it's currently sitting on top of the beam, so when it's flipped the beam, you basically take this off, take the leaf spring out, set the leaf spring below the beam, which lowers that anyway, because it brings the beam attached to the wheels higher, and the obviously leaf spring below. And then at the back where we've got this bracket, there is an adjustable bracket with multiple holes that we can basically put it up and down. So that's what we're going to do now. Take this off, maneuver that underneath. We do have a new strut as well, because although it's got a leaf spring, it's still got a strut in there as well. So we've got a new strut to put in there from Pro Sport, obviously all supplied in the kit. So I'm going to take this off now, flip the beam this side and then do it that side, and hopefully it's not too hard. After reinstalling the bash bar, I loosened the shackle holding the leaf spring to the rear beam, gave it a bit of a wire brush to remove any of the dirt, and then took off the front and rear leaf spring bolts. Normally, this bolt and this hole line up perfectly, allowing you to just pull that bolt through the hole, releasing it from the leaf spring. I have no idea why mine did not want to work. It wouldn't line up no matter what I did, so I decided to loosen off the top bolt as well and then hit it out of place, bringing both bolts with it. One rear beam. Right, let's unload the kit and see what it comes with. So what we've got in the replacement Pro Sport kit is a new shock, the adjustable rear plates, of which there are 2. So basically you hang them on the back as they were and you can adjust them up and down. So that's cool, that's obviously your height adjustment. And then this is the whole flip the beam situation. So on the current one, we basically had one plate sat on top of the beam with these holding it in place. This one this goes on top of the beam, this goes under the beam, and they're curved, well this one's at least curved, to basically show you that. Then the beam, oh, I can't lift that up. That's one of my, so the beam sandwiched between there, that leaf spring then goes on here. There's a locator here, which I don't know if you'll see from that. There's a locator here to locate that little pin. That sits in there like that, and then gets sandwiched on the bottom, lowering the whole thing. So I'm gonna get on with installing that now, and you guys can watch me. Now this was a lot easier than I initially thought. You first off have to remove both rear leaf springs. This allows you to move the beam freely, but making sure you support the beam with axle stands. After that, you put the shackles in place and secure the front of the leaf spring. After securing the leaf spring to the bottom of the shackles, I then installed the rear height adjustment plates. You then select the hole that you want. I went all the way high to give me maximum load. Lastly, you need to cut down the rubber bump stop, and just like that, the coilovers are done. Right, that is the one side all finished off. As you can see, I have put the wheel on. Need to put the bumper on, but I need to do this side. So I'm going to tackle the driver's side now and catch up with you guys when it's all finished. I didn't film me doing the other side because you guys have just seen it. So all that's left is to put the bumper on, put the wheels on, drop this thing down and see how it looks. That is pretty damn good. That is so much lower. So that is the coilovers done, and if you look from this angle you can just see the poke of the wheels. I think that fitment is pretty bang on. Don't get me wrong, I've got some stretch tyres, so I may need to go a little bit spaced out, but it's just the look that I was going for. Oh, right, it's only fair I finally give you guys what you've waited this entire video for. Let's show you the finished product. There they are, the 19-inch Audi R8 replica alloys on the slammed Caddy. Now this thing is as low as it possibly sits, and I think these alloys with the silver on silver finishes it off perfectly. Not only does it look amazing, it drives amazing and handles so much better than the standard van. Yes, it's a little bit bumpy. Well, it's quite a lot bumpier than what it was, and yes, I can no longer get in multi-story car parks because I hit the subframe on the top of the ramp, but I don't care. It looks the part and it now drives the part as well, so I'm over the moon with this. If you like the content, make sure you go down below, press that like button, press the subscribe button, and leave me a comment to let me know what you think of these wheels on this. Should I change the colour or should I keep this thing silver on silver? I'm kind of liking the clean look. Make sure you come back for the next video where we've got serious changes to the inside of this van, both front and rear. I'll catch you guys in the next video.